This is Cody Osmond, FrontierLife.net. I wanted to do a little black powder demo today. Go along with the Jimmy Fletcher Ride to Rendezvous book. If you're reading that book and you're not familiar with how to shoot a black powder rifle, this should kind of fill you in on some of the details and let you get a better picture in your mind of what's going on in the story. So stick around while we film this tutorial. So if you're following along in the book, Jimmy's just left home and he's taking his family's muzzle-loading rifle, or black powder rifle. And it does mention that his dad had just swapped out the old flintlock for a percussion cap lock. And that's what I'm going to be shooting today. This rifle is a 50 caliber. It's a Hawken replica, and it's made by Thompson Center. And it's similar to what Jimmy would have been shooting in the story. So it's a pretty good visual there. And what make a point to talk about in the story is the lock. And this mechanism right here on the side of the gun, this is the lock. Up until, this story's written in 1837, up until about that time, it was common to have a flintlock, which would have had a piece of rock, a flint, in the hammer here, and that would have caused a spark. By 1837, though, there was some new technology coming around, and I gave Jimmy that rifle. It has a percussion cap lock, and that's what this is. And all this does is it uses the hammer right here, and you place this little, you can hardly even see it, it's just a little tiny cap. And that cap goes on this nipple right there, and then when you pull the trigger, the hammer will strike this little cap, and that causes the spark that sets off your powder charge. So if you're wondering what that's all about in the book, what does all that stuff mean and what would it look like, this right here is a pretty good replica of what Jimmy would have had. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to load it and how to shoot it. Alright, well now I've taught you a little bit about how the lock works. I'm going to show you how to load and shoot this muzzle loading rifle. This is called a muzzle loader because you load it from the muzzle. So the first thing you have to do is you got to take your powder measure, and this is in my possibles bag. This right here is a possibles bag mountain men carried because it had everything they could possibly need. This is a powder measure. This is a powder horn. This powder horn is made of a buffalo horn that I made sure that it's watertight. If your powder gets wet, it's not going to work. The gun's not going to shoot. So I take a little powder. And I dump it down the barrel. That just settles the powder a little bit. Now the next thing that I do is I reach inside my bag here and I find my patch. There it is. I get my lubricated patch and my round ball, my lead ball. Let me come up and show you what that actually looks like here. So this is called shooting patched round ball. It's a more traditional way of shooting. What you can see, you've just got a simple patch here, just a piece of cloth, and I have a lead ball, just a round lead ball. Now these aren't incredibly accurate. These round balls aren't. But they were the best the mountain men had. It wasn't until around the Civil War where the conical bullet, the cone-shaped bullet, was used. So Jimmy would have used a patched round ball just like this. So with my powder charge in the rifle, I take my patch and I set it on top of the barrel. Then I take my ball and I set it right in the middle of that patch. And I get what's called a short starter. And I just get the ball and the patch started down the barrel. Next I take my ramrod, also called a wiping stick by the mountain men. I just want to make sure I get that ball seated all the way on that powder. Reset my ramrod, reach in my possibles. I grab one of those caps that I showed you. All right. I'm setting on the nipple just like I said. All right. Now this gun's ready to do some work. And I wanted to show you something real quick before I shot. Right here, these are, you see two triggers, right? And this back trigger is called the set trigger. And once I cock the hammer back, you're gonna hear two clicks, goes to full cock. Then I'm gonna pull this set trigger. And what that's going to do is that's going to make this shooting trigger here, that's gonna make it a hair trigger. Very light, easy to pull, makes accuracy a lot better. So just so you know, that's what's going on. So, now that I've got my target, pull the hammer back twice, put the gun to my shoulder, pull the set trigger, and then blaze away. And that's how you shoot a muzzle-loading rifle. All right, well, hopefully this brief video shows you a little bit more about frontier skills, how to shoot a muzzle-loading rifle. So that way when you read about it in the book, you'll get a much clearer picture of what was happening. Again, Jimmy would have went through a process very similar to this while he's using the gun throughout the book. So again, this is Cody from FrontierLife.net. Thanks for watching and enjoy the frontier.